Roman Reigns returns. He's been gone for 5 whole weeks. Eric Bischoff fired. My review of Monday Netflix Raw. And more. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
On Sunday the 9th of March, Eric Bischoff made his latest return to WWE, having a cameo on their Legends and Future Greats show on the A&E network, where he'll be teaching the wrestler contestants all about factions. It's a company change quicker than you can say Ricky Saints in NXT, or maybe more appropriately, Lex Luger on Nitro, because one night earlier, Bischoff was getting fired from his last role in a wrestling promotion. Bischoff was brought into MLW last year as their executive producer. This was all a storyline. Initially, the CEO, Court Bauer, was happy with Bischoff's controversy creates cash approach, but then it was implied Bischoff was up to no good, as he was shown stealing secret MLW documents. Bischoff got his comeuppance at MLW's Intimidation Games show the day before his LFG appearance was aired. At the pay-per-view, Cesar Duran, the former Dario Cueto from Lucha Underground, revealed he had retrieved the stolen files. As a reward, he was officially named the new president of MLW. And, as MLW's own website states, wasting no time, Duran made his first executive move as president by firing Eric Bischoff, bringing an abrupt end to Bischoff's tenure in MLW. Later in the show, Bischoff was ejected from the building and locked out of the arena. Over in WWE, with John Cena out filming a movie, the promotion is keeping the momentum up on his heel turn, one of the biggest of all time, by playing video packages and having Cody Rhodes cut in ring promos. Cody appeared on last night's episode of Raw, where he revealed we can see Cena on next week's show in Belgium, which is being promoted around both men being under one roof for the first time since Elimination Chamber. And Rhodes also cut a promo on SmackDown, calling John Cena The Rock's bottom. Giggle giggle, bum sex. But according to Fightful Select, Cody was originally listed to appear a second time on Friday's show, a backstage segment with R-Truth. It was on WWE's internal run sheet, but it never ended up happening. Fightful didn't get a firm answer on why the segment was dropped, but the speculation is that it would have affected the seriousness of Cody's promo. SmackDown was the first time we would have heard from Cody since the Cena heel turn angle. R-Truth, meanwhile, has been a source of comedy in recent weeks. Nay, decades. With him hanging out in the fancy dressing room The Rock made Cody on the last episode. Truth also has a long-running bit of Cena being his childhood hero, even though R-Truth is 6 years older than him. How are you 53 years old? You haven't aged in 2 decades! One segment that did make it in, however, was the three-way interaction between Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill, where Naomi finally admitted to beating up Cargill several months ago. Fightful Select is reporting the segment received heavy praise behind the scenes, with one of their sources feeling like this was the first time Naomi's been able to showcase herself in a promo with so much substance. Belair was also put over for her reaction, and everyone was also really happy with Cargill, the writing, producing, and the camera work for when Cargill arrived. It's better news for Jade, who reportedly has backstage heat in the company, with the Wrestling Observer even claiming Shayna Baszler wanted to fight her over her attitude backstage. Fightful adds that they didn't hear about any further incidents from the most recent SmackDown episode. Now here's a word from this video's sponsor.
I went to the police. Like a good American, Ollie and Luke were brought in for watching the Royal Rumble without me. And the judge said that this wasn't a crime. Not a crime. I stood in the courtroom like a fool. And those bastards, they smiled at me. I said to my wife, for justice, I need to go to Don Dom.
Why did you go to the police? Why didn't you come to me? Oh, wait a second. Have you seen my vape?
Your what, Don Dom?
My vape. God, I need my vape. Anyway, what is it you want me to do? That I cannot do.
I'll give you anything you ask.
I understand. You found paradise in America. Had a good trade, made a good I really do need to find my vape. Do you have a vape I could have a puff off?
Isn't this a workplace? I'm not sure you're allowed to vape in a workplace.
I don't know the rules. Anyway, as I was saying, you didn't need a friend of me, but now you come to me and you say, Don Dom, give me justice. But you don't ask with respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me godfather. Instead, you come into my house on the day of my daughter is to be married, and you ask me to do murder for money. No, seriously, I need this vape. Is it under the table? Have a look under the table.
Dom, have you ever tried Fume?
What's Fume?
Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that draws flavor to your mouth, not your lungs. It's a great way to satisfy your oral fixation with non-toxic flavors, free from nicotine or vapor, and it's safe to use anywhere. Fume's design is also about more than just flavor. It's an awesome fidget tool with magnets and clicks that help calm anxiety. You'll love how Fume feels, premium quality, sleek design, and perfect for taking with you on the go. Flavored air isn't like vaping. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has lots of delicious flavors to choose from, like crisp, mint, and orange vanilla. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, vapor, or combustion. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build better habits. Try Fume today, and if you order the Journey Pack now using the code WrestleTalk, you'll get a free Fume topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Go to tryfume.com/WrestleTalk or scan the QR code on screen.
My God, this is fantastic. And no nicotine as well. You can accept this justice as a gift on my daughter's wedding day. What did you want done again?
I want you to murder Ollie and Luke.
Oh, yeah, wow, that's quite extreme. But, luckily for you, I really like Fume.
Now start spreading the news. It was Raw last night. I'm gonna review all of it. Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. It's drunk dad karaoke, that.
Yeah, I can tell.
Actually now, feeling like we're on the road to WrestleMania, this week's Raw took place from the historic Madison Square Garden in New York, WWE's home turf. And throughout the night we had famous steel cage clips from the venue's past. Randy Savage versus Ted DiBiase in 1988. Jimmy Superfly Snuka diving off the top of the cage in 83. Bruno Sammartino versus Ivan Koloff in 1975. All brilliantly used to build tonight's main event steel cage match of CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. But before that, we've got to get through the World Heavyweight Championship program story that's run out of plot points. Jay started the show firing up the crowd in the concourse area. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip ahead 10 minutes there. Yeet, yeah, they're still yeeting. Oh my God, it's not another promo, it's a match. The problem with Jay versus Gunther is that it's a 4-week story stretched out over 3 months, from him winning the Rumble to the WrestleMania 41 title match conclusion. We're only just halfway through, and because all of the top stars are in their own Mania programs, their feud is being filled out with undercard fodder, like the Alpha Academy with Gunther the last 2 weeks, and Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller here, which he predictably won. Gunther surprise choked him out afterwards, just like he did last week. They need to be more creative here. Logan Paul came out next to do heel crowd work with plants in the audience. First he ripped a fan's t-shirt that read "I hate Logan Paul," and then he gave comedian Andrew Schultz, whose new Netflix special is available for you to watch right now, a mic in the front row. But rather than praise Logan, Schultz said nobody is here to see Paul. New York only wants real wrestlers like AJ Styles and CM Punk. Logan pulled him into the ring when famed New Yorker AJ Styles, the New York community, ran down for the save, chasing Paul off and shouting, "This is New York," in his southern accent. This is most likely to build an AJ versus Paul match, or both men in a multi-man intercontinental title match. But Logan also interestingly offered his soul to the new Rock Cena faction, which I think would be a much better third man than Travis Scott. The New Day took on the LWO next in a fun tornado tag, initially built around Kofi and Woods stopping a table from being used, which Dragon Lee eventually hit a running Hurricane Rana off the ring apron on Woods through. The LWO seemingly had it won when a masked luchador ran in, beat them both up, and threw both hands in the air and shouted, "Gracias!" What can it mean? Who is this? Is it Rey Fenix simply shouting thank you to Tony Khan for finally releasing him? The New Day got the win because they have zero credibility and can't win anything by themselves. And later on, Kathy Kelly unfairly ambushed Chad Gable where she accused him of being this masked luchador, using rubbish circumstantial evidence like, you just got back from a trip to Mexico to learn the dark arts of lucha libre. The luchador hit Chad Gable moves, and the luchador was wearing the exact same hoodie and pants. At which point, security was shown escorting the luchador out of the building in the background, proving Chad's innocence. It's a shame we only got one vignette of Chad in Mexico. We didn't even get a single training montage. But this is the sort of goofy fun I love. Dominic Mysterio is starting to feel more and more like Judgment Day's leader when he told Finn Balor he got him an Intercontinental title match against Bron Breakker next week. Finn gave him a strong embrace. Macaulay Culkin got the biggest pop out of all the celebrities in the crowd, as he very well should do. Because John Cena's not booked until next week and WWE actually found the limit of the amount of times they could play video packages about his heel turn, the final number was 32, to the power of 98 million, we got Cody Rhodes cutting another in-ring promo here. In place of bum sex innuendos, or in my endos, you cheeky sods, Cody called Cena's faction with The Rock and Travis Scott the Inner Circle. Jake Hager WWE return confirmed, and said he'll have the heartbreaking privilege of beating his hero at WrestleMania. But what was most interesting was the New York crowd. Famed for being either uncooperative or ahead of the curve, the audience split into "Let's go Cena," "Cena sucks" chants, and by the end were actually booing Cody for saying he'll stop John getting his 17th world title win. I think New York is a special case, but it is one to keep an eye on. We've wanted to boo Cena properly for so long. Now that we're actually allowed to, we're probably going to end up cheering him. We're wrestling fans, we don't really know what we want. Raquel Rodriguez beat Bayley to become the #1 contender for Lyra Valkyria's Intercontinental title. If the last feud was anything to go by, Bayley, the loser, will get an Intercontinental title shot anyway in the next few weeks. Michael Cole interviewed the new women's champion Io Sky in the ring and welcomed out her WrestleMania opponent Bianca Belair. Cole pointed out that if Bianca wasn't at ringside in the title match last week, perhaps Io wouldn't have won. This brought down the former champion Rhea Ripley, who was refreshingly pissed off. She screamed at Bianca for interfering last week, while Bianca fired back that Ripley knows she can't beat Sky by herself. But while they were getting in each other's faces, they kept pushing Io, the champion, away. Fed up with the disrespect, Io slapped them both and stormed off. The women's division really does have stories now. This was a very good segment to build the likely triple threat. Speaking of very good segments to build likely triple threats, Roman Reigns wants you to hold his Paul Heyman. But not that tightly! He's my Paul Heyman! Mine! Seth Rollins vs CM Punk in a steel cage was another excellent TV main event for Raw this year. With 35 minutes left of this episode, they had plenty of time to tell the match's story. It's not about them winning, it's about them punishing each other. Neither man went for pins for the first 20 minutes of the match, and both offered the other an easy way out by holding the cage door open. Both men declined, instead choosing to brawl with the same fierce intensity as their segment last week, and hitting all their finishers. As well as a superplex off the top of the cage, Punk hit a total of 3 GTSs and a stomp. Seth hit 2 stomps of his own and a Cena STF. Either some mind games of how Cena eliminated Punk, or maybe a tease that Rollins could eventually join the top heel faction. Punk had it won. He was about to walk out the cage door when Seth started screaming, "You want my house? You have to take it from me." Punk's ego got the better of him, and Seth hit a second rope super stomp. Now Seth had it won. But rather than his own ego sabotaging him, Roman Reigns' did instead. With the camera tight on Seth in the corner, Roman's red-gloved arm appeared from out of nowhere and pulled Rollins through the cage door with a choke. He kept beating up Seth around the outside, revenge for the brutal stomp he took at the Royal Rumble the last time we saw him, but it also meant he helped Seth win the match. Roman continued the beatdown outside. It was intense, but it wasn't really enough to make me excited for a triple threat between them all at WrestleMania. And then the son of a bitch did it again. I'm hooked. I'm hooked from out of nowhere. The officials stopped Roman from delivering a stomp on Seth on the steel steps. Broken from his blind rage, that's when Reigns noticed what was going on inside the ring. His wise man, Paul Heyman, was tending to CM Punk. Consumed by jealousy because, remember, Roman never actually turned face. He's still an asshole, we just cheer him now. Reigns ran inside the cage and speared CM Punk. Heyman being stuck between the two is an awesome dynamic, and it's the latest development in Roman's long-term feud with Punk, dating back to November's War Games match, which is one of the best storylines in the whole company. This week's Raw is 82%. Roman is the cover star of WWE 2K25. But can you name every wrestler who's ever appeared on the front of a WWE video game? Watch the brand new episode of Survival Series by clicking the video on screen now to find out.